All right, hello and welcome. If you're gearing up for that SCMPE exam, you know the balanced scorecard is going to show up. But listen, this is way more than just memorizing 4 little boxes. It's really about getting into a strategic mindset. You know, the kind of thinking that examiners absolutely love to see. So let's get right to it and crack this thing wide open.
So, let me ask you something right off the bat. Are profits really the be-all and end-all for a company? Is that the only thing that matters? Because think about it. If you only look at financial numbers, it's kind of like trying to drive a car while staring only into the rearview mirror. Sure, it tells you exactly where you've been, but it gives you absolutely no clue about the traffic jam or the big turn that's right up ahead.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to look way beyond just the bottom line. We'll break down the 4 key perspectives, figure out who's actually in charge of this thing, and then, and this is a big one, we'll get into why these scorecards can totally fail. You'll definitely see this stuff in case studies. And then, we'll connect all the dots to see how it all works together, and wrap up with a super quick recap to make sure those keywords are stuck in your brain.
Right. So this gets to the heart of the problem that the balanced scorecard was invented to solve. Financial reports, yeah, they're important, but they're what we call lagging indicators. They only tell you about stuff that's already happened. But to actually win in business, you need leading indicators. You need to know if what you're doing right now is actually pushing you towards your future goals.
And that is where the balanced scorecard comes into play. It's the tool designed to fix this exact issue. It takes that big, fluffy company vision and that complex strategy and translates it all into stuff you can actually measure. And the key word here, no surprise, is balanced. It forces everyone to look at the business from all these different angles, not just, the money.
So how does it do that? How does it create this balance? Well, it breaks the strategy down into 4 key perspectives. And these aren't just separate buckets, they're all connected in a really powerful way. This is the absolute heart of the model, so let's jump right in.
Okay, look at this. You see the 4 boxes, right? They're important, for sure. But the most critical part? It's that bit right there in the middle, vision and strategy. This whole thing is not just a random checklist of things to measure. No way. Every single goal, every single metric has to flow directly from that central strategy. It's like the heart of the whole system, pumping blood to everything else.
Let's make this super practical. Imagine a little coffee shop. Let's call it Brutiful Coffee. First up, the financial perspective. The big question here is, how do we look to our shareholders? Well, their goal is simple. Increase daily revenue by 15%. Boom. Okay, next, the customer perspective. How do our customers see us? Their plan? Boost customer loyalty with a new rewards app. Makes sense. Then we have internal processes. What do we have to be amazing at? For a coffee shop, that's making great coffee and fast. So the target is to get that latte making time down to under 90 seconds. And finally, the foundation for all of this, learning and growth. How do we keep getting better? Easy. Train all the baristas on cool new latte art techniques. See? You can already feel how these pieces start to connect.
Okay, let's talk about a super practical point. You can have the most beautiful, perfect scorecard on paper, but it's totally useless if nobody's actually in charge of it. So whose job is it to make this thing work?
All right, for your exam, listen up, because this is a really important distinction. The responsibility for the balanced scorecard belongs to the managers who are actually in the business, doing the work. The CEO can't just toss it down to some junior team and say, figure it out. And you can't just hire a bunch of consultants to do it for you. It has to be owned by the people who are on the ground, living it every single day.
And this leads us straight into a massive classic exam trap. If you're reading a case study and you see a company that just, copied the scorecard from Starbucks or something, that's a huge red flag. A scorecard has to be a mirror of a company's own unique strategy. If the strategy is unique, the measures have to be unique too. Simple as that.
Okay, so knowing how to build one is half the battle. But for the exam, it's just as crucial to know why they so often fail. Think of these as the strategic pitfalls you need to spot in a case study. Getting this right is how you'll get those top marks for analysis.
First off, you've got managers who think, oh, we track customer complaints, so yeah, we've got a balanced scorecard. Wrong. That's a classic error. Just having a few non-financial numbers doesn't count. It's the strategic links between them that's the magic. Then you have the other 2 biggies we just talked about, senior execs just delegating it away, or companies just copying their competitors. And finally, a really big one, the scorecard becomes something you just report on, like a history project, instead of a living, breathing tool you use to actually manage the business day to day. Okay, lean in for this one. This next point is a direct insight from the study material, and it's one of those little details that can seriously separate a good answer from a truly great one.
This just makes so much sense when you think about it. A scorecard is an internal tool first. You use it to manage your business. So if you see a company in a case study that's immediately plastering its brand new scorecard all over its annual report, that's a warning sign. It probably means they're just using it for PR, not for real management. You have to get it working and prove its value on the inside before you even think about showing it to the outside world.
All right, now we get to the really cool part. This is where the true power of this whole thing clicks into place. The genius of the balanced scorecard isn't just about having 4 boxes. It's all about the cause and effect links between those boxes. This is how you literally tell the story of your strategy. I'm going to say it again because it's that important. Strategy is the glue. It holds the whole thing together. A really well-built scorecard tells a clear, logical story. It shows you exactly how you take something you can't easily touch, like employee skills, and turn it into something you can, like cold, hard cash.
And here's that story, laid out step by step. Let's go back to our coffee shop. It all starts at the bottom, with learning and growth. We invest in training our baristas, right? Step 1. What does that lead to? Well, it improves our internal processes. Our baristas get faster, their latte art is better. That's step 2. So what happens next? That leads directly to a better customer experience. People get amazing coffee super fast, they're happy. Step 3. And what's the end result? Happy customers come back more often, they spend more money, and that, ultimately, drives financial success. Step 4. It's this beautiful, logical chain reaction, connecting an investment in your people directly to your profits.
Okay, one last critical insight for you. And this one is all about how you take the scorecard off the page and make it real. Honestly, this is the part that most companies struggle with, and you can bet the examiners know that. And this is huge. Think about it. Let's say your big strategy is to make customers happier, but you only give your employees a bonus based on how much they sell. What are they going to focus on? Exactly, selling, not satisfying. You have to align your incentives. You have to link people's bonuses, their rewards, their promotions, directly to the measures on the scorecard. Because at the end of the day, what gets measured and rewarded is what gets done.
Okay, so you've got the logic down. Now let's hammer home those keywords so they're ready to go on the exam. We're going to do a little quick fire recap. You ready? Let's go. What are the 4 perspectives? You got it. Financial, customer, internal processes, and learning and growth. Awesome. Now what's the thing that ties them all together? That's vision and strategy. What kind of measures are we focused on beyond just profit? Non-financial measures. And what is the single most important concept that makes this whole thing work? It's the linkage, that cause and effect chain. Perfect.
And there you have it, the balanced scorecard totally decoded for your SCMPE exam. The biggest thing to remember is this. It's not just a report card for your business. It's a strategic map. It's a framework for telling the story of how you're going to win. So I'll leave you with this little challenge. Pick your favorite brand and think about how you would build a balanced scorecard for them. Seriously, trying to apply it like that is how you go from just knowing this stuff to truly understanding it. All right, that's all for now. Best of luck with your studies.